Kalaba's shocking 2026 presidential announcement, full statement revealed. In Zambian politics, confidence is expected, but this statement stunned many. I will be president this year. Not I hope. Not we are working towards it. A direct declaration of victory, before the numbers, before alliances, before the ballots. Is Harry Kalaba reading the political moment correctly, or dangerously misreading it? Good day viewers. Welcome to another edition of the InspirAfrica Official. I'm Nakash. Well, what a week it's been in Zambian politics. Just when you thought the political landscape was settling into its rhythm, something extraordinary happens that reminds us why we must never stop paying attention. Today, we're diving into a story that has sent shockwaves through the corridors of power in Lusaka and beyond, a story that could fundamentally reshape the trajectory of Zambia's democratic future. Picture this. A man who once stood at the very heart of government power, who walked the halls of State House, who sat in cabinet meetings where the fate of millions was decided, now standing before the nation with words that no one saw coming. A figure who has remained largely in the shadows of opposition politics, watching, waiting, calculating his moment. And then, in one stunning declaration, he throws down the gauntlet. What drives a politician to make such a bold move? What conversations happened behind closed doors? What promises were made? What alliances forged? What calculations completed in the quiet hours before dawn? Was this announcement the result of months, perhaps years, of careful planning? Or was it a spontaneous eruption born from frustration with the current state of affairs? And here's the question that should keep every political analyst awake tonight. What does this mean for the ruling party? What does it mean for the opposition landscape? What does it mean for every Zambian who believes their vote can change their country's future? Could this be the beginning of a political earthquake that reshapes everything we thought we knew about the 2026 elections? Factual foundation. The revelation came to light in dramatic fashion earlier this week when Kampiango Kalaba, the former Minister of Foreign Affairs under the Patriotic Front government and current leader of the Citizens First Party, stepped before cameras and microphones to make an announcement that had been the subject of intense speculation for months. The location was strategic. Not a party headquarters, not a rally ground, but a carefully chosen venue that would signal the gravity of his message. This wasn't just another political press conference. This was a moment Kalaba had been building toward since his dramatic exit from the PF and the formation of his own political movement. For those who've been following Zambian politics closely, the signs were there. Kalaba's increased visibility in recent months, his pointed criticisms of both the ruling UPND government and his former PF colleagues, the whispered conversations at political gatherings, the growing restlessness among his supporters who had been asking the same question over and over: when will our president make his move? The timeline of events leading to this moment is crucial to understand. After leaving the PF amid considerable controversy and founding Citizens First, Kalaba initially adopted a measured approach, building his party structures, recruiting members, establishing a political identity distinct from both the UPND and PF. But something shifted in recent months. The tone changed. The messaging became sharper, more urgent, more pointed. Political insiders began noting the increased frequency of Kalaba's provincial tours, the expansion of his party's organizational capacity, the recruitment of key figures from both ruling and opposition camps. Money was flowing. Structures were being built. And then came the announcement that would confirm what many had suspected but few had dared to predict with certainty. Direct evidence. Standing before the assembled media, Kalaba's statement was nothing if not direct. His words deserve to be heard in full. My fellow Zambians, I come before you today not with mere political rhetoric, but with a solemn commitment to our nation's future. For too long, we have watched as our beloved Zambia has been tossed between political extremes, from one disappointment to another, from one broken promise to the next. He paused, letting the weight of his words settle before continuing. I have served this nation in various capacities. I have seen the inner workings of government from the inside. I have witnessed both the potential for greatness and the reality of failure. And I can tell you with absolute certainty, we deserve better. Zambia deserves better. The camera captured the intensity in his eyes as he delivered his central message. Today, I am formally announcing my candidacy for the presidency of the Republic of Zambia in the 2026 general elections. I am putting myself forward not out of personal ambition, but because I believe that Citizens First offers a genuine alternative, a third way that is neither the failed policies of yesterday nor the broken promises of today. A journalist interjected, "Mr. Kalaba, you were part of the PF government that many Zambians blame for the economic crisis we inherited. Why should they trust you now?" Kalaba didn't hesitate. "That's a fair question, and it's one I've asked myself many times. Yes, I served in the PF government. Yes, I witnessed mistakes being made. But here's what I also did: I spoke out. I raised concerns internally. And when those concerns were ignored, I made the difficult decision to leave. That wasn't easy. It cost me politically. It cost me personally. But it was the right thing to do. And that's what leadership requires. The courage to stand up even when it's uncomfortable." Another reporter pressed, "The opposition landscape is already crowded. What makes you think Citizens First can actually win?" "Because we're offering something neither the UPND nor the remnants of the PF can offer," Kalaba responded. "We represent a new generation of leadership that learned from past mistakes but isn't paralyzed by them. We have a clear economic vision, a commitment to transparency, and most importantly, we haven't been tainted by the corruption scandals that have plagued both major parties." He continued, his voice rising with conviction, "Look, I'm not here to pretend that we have all the answers. But what we do have is a track record of calling out wrong when we see it. When I was in government, I didn't just go along to get along. When I saw policies that would hurt ordinary Zambians, I said something. And now, from outside government, I'm saying something again: we need change. Real change. Not just changing faces but changing systems." The questions kept coming, and Kalaba fielded them with a mixture of candor and calculated political messaging. "Will you work with other opposition parties? We're open to working with anyone who shares our vision for Zambia. But let me be clear. We're not interested in alliances built purely on defeating someone. We're interested in alliances built on uplifting everyone." What's your message to President Hichilema? My message to President Hichilema is simple: thank you for your service, but your time is coming to an end. The Zambian people gave you an opportunity. They gave you their trust. And in many ways, that trust has been betrayed. The economy is struggling. Jobs haven't materialized. The cost of living keeps rising. Zambians are tired of excuses. Deeper analysis. The announcement has sent ripples, some would say shockwaves, through Zambia's political establishment, and the reactions have been swift and varied. From the ruling UPND, the response has been predictably dismissive. A spokesperson, speaking on condition of anonymity, characterized Kalaba's announcement as the desperate move of a politician without a constituency. They pointed to Citizens First's limited parliamentary representation and questioned whether the party had the organizational capacity to mount a credible national campaign. But that dismissiveness may mask genuine concern. Kalaba represents something potentially dangerous to the UPND's re-election prospects, a credible alternative for voters disillusioned with both the current government and the old PF regime. He can claim both government experience and opposition credentials. He can attack the UPND from the right on economic policy while attacking them from the left on social issues. He's a political chameleon in the best and worst sense of the term. From the PF side, the reaction has been more complex. Some see Kalaba as a traitor who abandoned the party when it needed him most. Others privately admit that he may have been right to leave when he did, before the full extent of the party's problems became apparent. There's even quiet talk. Very quiet, very preliminary, of potential cooperation, though both sides deny any such discussions are taking place. Independent political analysts are divided. Dr. Mutal Chisanga from the University of Zambia's Department of Political Science noted, Kalaba's announcement is significant not because Citizens First is currently a major force, but because of what it represents. The fragmenting of opposition politics in a way that could either doom the opposition entirely or force it to coalesce around common platforms. The 2026 election just became much more interesting. But others are skeptical. We've seen this movie before, argues veteran journalist Charles Mwansa. A politician breaks away, forms their own party, promises a new way forward, and then either fades into irrelevance or crawls back to one of the major parties with their tail between their legs. What evidence do we have that Kalaba will be any different? That question goes to the heart of the matter. Can a relatively small party like Citizens First actually mount a credible presidential campaign? The challenges are enormous. Zambia's electoral system, while democratic, heavily favors established parties with nationwide infrastructure. Citizens First would need to contest not just the presidential race but also parliamentary and local government elections across all provinces. That requires money, organization, and human resources that the party may not currently possess. Then there's the question of Kalaba's own political baggage. His time in the PF government, while giving him executive experience, also associates him with a regime that left Zambia deeply in debt and facing serious economic challenges. Can he credibly distance himself from those failures while simultaneously touting his government experience? It's a delicate balance. There are also deeper questions about what Citizens First actually stands for beyond being a vehicle for Kalaba's ambitions. The party's policy positions remain somewhat vague on key issues. What exactly is their economic vision? How do they plan to address youth unemployment? What's their position on mining sector reforms? On agriculture? On healthcare and education? Voters will demand specifics, not just critique of the status quo. And then there's the elephant in the room that no one wants to talk about openly: ethnicity and regionalism in Zambian politics. Whether we like it or not, these factors still play a role in electoral calculations. Kalaba's ethnic and regional background will inevitably factor into how his candidacy is perceived in different parts of the country. Can he build a truly national coalition, or will he be limited to a regional power base? The legal and procedural questions are also significant. Citizens First will need to navigate the Electoral Commission's requirements for presidential candidates, gather the necessary signatures, meet filing deadlines, and ensure their candidate meets all constitutional requirements. These may seem like technicalities, but they've tripped up candidates before. Perhaps most intriguingly, Kalaba's announcement raises questions about the future of opposition politics in Zambia more broadly. If Citizens First does gain traction, will it force other opposition parties to reconsider their strategies? Could it lead to a broader opposition coalition, or will it simply split the anti-UPND vote and guarantee Hichilema's re-election? What we've witnessed this week is more than just another political announcement. It's a moment that crystallizes the choices facing Zambian voters in 2026. The established power of the ruling party, the resurgent hopes of the old guard, and now, the ambitious challenge of a new alternative. Whether Kampiango Kalaba's presidential bid succeeds or fails, it has already succeeded in doing one thing: forcing a conversation about what we want from our leaders and what kind of political future we're willing to fight for. Thank you so much for watching this edition of InspirAfrica Official. I want to hear from you. What do you think about Kalaba's announcement? Is Citizens First a credible alternative, or just another political sideshow? Does Kalaba have what it takes to win in 2026, or will this campaign fizzle out like so many others before it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's have a real conversation about the future of our democracy. We'll be back tomorrow with more coverage, more analysis, and more of the stories that matter to you. Until then, stay informed, stay engaged, and remember, your voice matters. This is Nakash, signing off. See you.